Welcome to the Prodigies podcast, a forum for digging into the world of fitness, of health and wellness, of wholeness, specifically for teens and young adults. With special attention to the CrossFit athlete, we'll discuss all the things you want to know: training, competition, nutrition, mental health, injuries, hormones, social media, family, relationships, and more. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Prodigies podcast. This is episode 13, which I'm super excited to be able to say that. And I'm coming to you guys today live from Tempe, Arizona. Emily, it is 80s here. It's very nice. It's beautiful. I'm at the Legends competition, which is a Masters competition. The Legends are to the Masters what we at the Pit are to the teenagers. And what that is in 2024, the CrossFit Games. So right now, though, the Legends are getting ready to have their annual competition, and there's a bunch of athletes. They just started checking. It's about 3 o'clock local time here in Arizona, and the athletes just started checking in. And so I'm sitting here in the medical area. So that's my role at this competition. I'll be the medical person, kind of watching out for everybody's safety, and we're going to do a lot with injury prevention and illness prevention. So we don't have a lot to manage. So I'm excited to talk to the athletes in a little bit. But I wanted to get on here right away with you, Emily, because this past weekend was super exciting. So for anyone who doesn't know, my guest today is a super special. I mean, they're all special, but Emily, I was really looking forward to talking to you. So this is Emily Avery. She's a 19-year-old CrossFit athlete. She's an adaptive athlete, and she recently, just a few days ago, she took the podium position, first place in her division at the WheelWod Games. So just a hearty congratulations, Emily.
Thank you.
I think I see your name placard behind you. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
And Emily is perched at Triple River CrossFit. You can see on her sweatshirt, which is the affiliate at the Pit Fitness Ranch. So she's one of our athletes. And I personally have known Emily for several years now. She's good friends with my children, my teenage children. And she's been a blessing. In fact, Emily, I think we traveled together, didn't we, for a CrossFit competition?
615, yeah.
That's right. We had a car full of kids that we took to Nashville that year. It was really fun. But so Emily, why don't we just start digging right in? Why don't we just start with, first of all, if there's anything else about yourself that you'd like to tell anyone who's listening, your age, just anything about you biographically. But then let's talk about WheelWod Games and what happened this past weekend.
Well, I'm a CrossFit athlete, but I'm a kid, and I've always tried to put that at the forefront of my mind. I'm a student. My dad, he's always put education first. So I go to a community college just 30 minutes from the Pit. I love CrossFit, and I think it grounds me, but I like to have multiple aspects of myself. I love to travel, and like I said, I'm a student, and so yeah. But and then you said the WheelWod.
Yeah, let's just dig right in. So if people may not know, that when I talked to you, you were sort of I'm just going to kind of go and see what happens. And I thought to myself, I probably even said to you, girl, you're going to win that. You have that capacity. I think any of us at the gym see that in you for sure. So tell us a little bit about how you decided to enter this competition, and because you did the qualifiers, right? And then how you went from entering it and maybe being I'll see how I do, to being at the top of the podium.
Well, so last year I also qualified to go to the WheelWod Games, but for other circumstances I couldn't make it. So then the next year, for this year that I just went, I was okay, I want to go, because it's just it's a competition unlike any other. I'm sure that athletes who come to the pit can understand, and athletes who go to the legends can understand that, like, just being with your community, specifically like a teenager or someone who has a disability or someone who's in that master's bracket, like, it's just like so empowering to be with so many people who are just like you. So that was like my big pull to want to go there. And like, I mean, pretty much like I follow Brock's programming and I train with my friends and I go to class and I train with, you know, my friends in the classes, and they just like push me. And CrossFit for sure took kind of a back burner my life as of recently, just with getting so busy and traveling back and forth to Kalamazoo from my house, like took up a lot of time. And like organic chemistry was just kicking my butt. So I for sure was putting more time into my school than CrossFit. And so that's kind of why I was taking the whole, let's just see how things go. Obviously I was going to try my best, but I wasn't going to expect that. And I just should have been, I guess, more confident in my like ability, because I have been training hard. I mean, our classes here are pretty rigorous. So yeah, I'm just super stoked and like honored that I was able to take that top spot, and like everybody there was just so kind and like hardworking. So
Yeah, I love. So Emily's, you're 19, is that right?
mm-hmm.
Yep. And when Emily said she does Brock's programming, she's talking about Brock Yost. He's the executive director of the Pit Team Throwdown, as well as the head coach and affiliate owner at Triple River CrossFit. And he does a lot with the strength and conditioning for the youth in Southwestern Michigan. So of course we all were. In fact, you're sitting at Brock's desk right now, I think.
Yes.
So, yep. Which is yeah. So that's awesome, Emily. I mean, it was really fun to watch you on the leaderboard kind of go up the ranks and, you know, do those workouts. So I do want to get into some of that in a little bit. I might even pull up the leaderboard or pull up Instagram, but let's talk just a minute about your division. So you are an adaptive athlete, and I don't know if people can tell that Emily is one point of contact on the top, and you weren't always an adaptive athlete. So talk to us a little bit about how you became an adaptive athlete and what maybe some of the differences that there are when you are two-armed. And if I use anything that's like politically incorrect, please just tell me. I don't like using the word able or disabled, because I'm like, not you're able, you know,
Right.
You are able-bodied. So that's why I'm really cautious with those words. But talk a little bit about that as far as like sports growing up until, I mean, I just happened to know the story until about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then your physical body changed. What can you talk about that?
So yeah, you're right. So 2 years ago, I was in a car accident, and my truck hit an embankment and then it flipped, and so my window was down and my arm was like severed as my truck was rolling. And so like that's how I lost my arm. But like before that, I started CrossFit in just after COVID. Brock Yost. So I was in he was coaching the high school like cross training class, and he was like, dude, Emily, like, you got to come to the pit, like, you would love it. And I'm like 16, I think I was even 15. I couldn't drive, didn't have a job, and I'm like, yeah, okay, like, all right, like, thanks, but like how am I gonna do that? I can't drive. And then I was doing kids CrossFit with Autumn at the parks and stuff, and we were just doing CrossFit with the local kids in the area. And he comes up to me, he's like, Emily, dude, like, seriously, like, please come out to the pit. And then I was like, I don't know. And so then he actually gave me the opportunity to clean the gym like once a week in exchange for a membership. And I absolutely fell in love. I went to every class I could. Skills clinics on the weekend, community WODs. I was training, and this is when I had two arms, right? And I wanted to be in the military. So I was like, you know, really training. That's what I had in mind. And I wanted to be like very physically able to like get through like the hard parts and of like basic and things like that. And so then the following year, when I lost my arm, like honestly, my first thought was like just getting back in the gym. I didn't realize that like my goals had kind of shifted from, oh, I'm working out because like this is the kind of profession that I want to have and I just like it, versus it becoming kind of coming like therapy to me, and like really just having like this amazing safe space with this like awesome community that just like lifts you up. And like I don't think even like during times where I'd be like sad, like I'd come into the gym and I just was like always smiling. I was just like just the people here just like lift you up so much. And like I said, it just really kind of became like therapy for me, and I just kind of kept going and just like let it, like my love for CrossFit is like authentic and genuine. Like I'm not really doing it for anything. I'm really just seeing where it takes me. And yeah, I'm just like truly like just blessed by this community and just by these opportunities that I've been given. So yeah, like I guess like I don't remember the second part of your question, but yeah.
No, that's real. That's so insightful. I knew you would have just so much to say. That's so great. And, Emily, I remember obviously your accident, and I just remember that you were, weak for a while as far as, you'd lost some blood, and so you're
Mhm.
having to kind of recover from that. And, you probably have heard this a lot, but you know how you said that it was kind of therapeutic for you. I can guarantee you, because I was one of those people, I worked out with you several times, that you were also therapeutic for others. Just seeing your demeanor, and you're like, one thing that I really admire about you is that you come and you're not, I don't want to say it. Like some people are sort of like cocky, like, I'm going to crush this, I'm going to fight back and all of that. And you don't quite have that. And yet you've got this like quiet, like solid grit that you're like, yeah, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this, And before we knew it, you were skiing with one arm, you were rowing with one arm, you got the straps, and then you deadlifting with one arm. And you were just kind of quietly coming back, if you will, and coming into this new space. And I think everyone, I mean, I can't speak for everyone at the gym, but I'm positive that most people found it as therapeutic for them to sort of see that we are a community, that literally every single one of us can be healthy regardless of circumstances. So I hope you hear that, and that you really feel it, that people really have watched your prog, I don't know what word to use, but have watched you and are also blessed by it. So
Well, thank you so much. That really means a lot.
yeah, it's always fun, and you still crush me at the workout. So anyway, I mean, you're just amazingly strong. We'll talk a little bit. What sports did you play? Maybe before the accident, before the.
Oh man, I think I did like a lot of everything. Like growing up, I played soccer, basketball. I ran cross country and track and field. I did powerlifting, but I did that after I lost my arm as well. Um, I even did like wrestling for a little bit after I lost my arm, but my my prosthetist told me that if I fell on like my nub the wrong way, that my bone could go through my skin because it was so new. Yeah. And I was like, okay, all right, like I won't do it. But yeah, so like I really I just like fall in love with like the training and like the routine, and like I just really like, I don't know, I like a good challenge. And like other sports gave that to me, but I think CrossFit is just kind of where I found that home in. Um, I remember when I was like in eighth grade, like I would go downstairs into my basement and like at 5 a.m, like I don't know, I was just a weird kid and I would go and work out. And actually one of the other members here was my Spanish teacher, and she'd give me like CrossFit workouts, and that's kind of how I like originally started, I guess. But yeah, like that, I don't know, I've always been pretty active, and I just kind of found a home in CrossFit, so super lucky for that.
Yeah, it's really great. I love that, because obviously this is called Prodigies podcast, and we named it that way specifically. Brock has kind of a programming, if you will, that he calls Prodigies, and we love this word because it just means that that this is a Prodigies is a place where all kids really can be, and sort of like come up into who the gifts and strengths and skills that they have to grow and develop. And CrossFit is just one, in my opinion, a really great way to do that. I'd love to hear a little bit about some of the things that are unique. So to being adaptive in the way that you have to adapt, like both in life and then certainly as training. I mean, I think you and I talked about this, which I always appreciate your openness, because I was like, wow, you just don't think of things, do you? Like tying your shoe. Like I've watched you like do things with one arm that I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I wouldn't have thought of that. So can you think back of your experience the past 2 years, some things that you were like, whoa, I had no idea, or that you've had to kind of relearn, both just in life, but in certainly in training?
Yeah, so I guess first, like the division, when you say like upper, one point of contact, so there's two different divisions for upper, and I'm assuming that most people, when you say upper, it's some type of disability or amputation in their upper limbs. And so for me, I'm one point of contact because I'm not using any, like, so some people, if they have an amputation below the elbow, or if they have like some type of atrophy or Erb's palsy, that they can still utilize their other limb, but it's just not quite as strong, would be 2 points. But for me, I'm hanging from the rig with one, I'm lifting with one, and like that also has another aspect of like your fatigue. I remember when I first lost my arm, I'd be in here, and there was one workout. Oh, yeah, one workout specifically where it was like ring rows and like I think farmers carries, and I went home and like even just like shaving your armpits, and I went like I have to shave my armpit like this on this side, and like I went like this, and my whole forearm was like cramping. So like there's also that like aspect of being one point of contact is such like a heavy stress and strain on that one side. And same thing with individuals who have one point of contact for lower impairment. So it's definitely a super interesting world. And just even like me, myself, being an adaptive athlete, but then going and seeing all these other athletes at a competition like WheelWod, which is very eye-opening for how everybody kind of adapts in their own way. But as far as like things in my day-to-day life, one of, honestly, especially with the colder weather, is zipping up jackets. I have figured it out, but like sometimes like just the little things like that you don't necessarily think about. So yeah, like, I don't know, like putting toothpaste on my toothbrush. I squirt the toothpaste into my mouth, and then so that my toothbrush doesn't roll all over the place. But
yep. Oh, Emily, I just had probably about 30 seconds of just kind of dead space with me prattling on, in case anyone could hear. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought that you were just maybe frozen. Are we all good?
I think we're good now. So you were talking about the difference that, just like you said, the one particular lets us strain on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just, yeah, it just like fatigues fast, and to have the endurance of anyone, like any athlete who's using one side specifically, you have to build that endurance on that one limb to avoid injury. Me okay? Oh wait, sorry, I just said I was removed from the stream.
Oh my goodness, you guys, it's me. It's me. I was trying to take down the.
No, I'm.
So I think I'm on the Arizona State University like internet, and so
Yeah.
I just want to. Yeah, sorry about that. Here
no,
you are.
fine.
We're here. We're good. I feel like every single episode I have some kind of little glitch, but yeah. Well, let's talk about some of the movements that we can think of. So, like, I think the one that really was like, whoa, was the very last workout at WheelWod when you were doing those one-armed push-ups. And I was like, holy cow, one-arm push-ups are hard. And we had an event recently at the pit called Yes, You Can. And Emily came, and she had us do one-arm burpees, which you wouldn't think would be that difficult. But I was like, holy cannoli, heaving my body up on one arm was difficult. What is the hard, I don't know how to ask that question, but like, why is it so hard? Those one arm push-ups. I could see that some of your competitors, they were not able to do them, but you did most of them.
Well, honestly, I didn't even know I could do one arm push-ups before that event. I think I did one during the warm-up, and then I was like, oh, I can do one. So like I did one, and I was like, I don't want to like I don't fatigue myself anymore. And then yeah, but I don't know. It's just there's a lot of different things I guess I didn't realize. With the one arm burpees, when I was first doing them, I was doing a Wadapalooza qualifier, and my so like anytime that you're using like your right hands, your like left obliques, your left side of your abdomen, your left low back is stabilizing. So like if you're carrying in groceries with your left arm, like I said, same thing. The right obliques, the right low back is engaged to stabilize your core and your midline and stuff like that. And so doing those burpees kind of cranks you up at an angle, and my low back was just like blowing up. Like it's taken me some time to really just like feel things out, and then to pivot or to pull back or to just like keep pushing through it, because sometimes it's just kind of what you have to do, if safely, of course. But yeah, it is just it's just one of those things that you learn. Like it's like for me, it's just normal now, and I assume like when someone would first start CrossFit and they do burpees, like I'm sure that they're probably like, why are these burpees? Burpees kind of have a bad rap. Like burpees are horrible. Burpees are so hard, and I think that's just like across the board, whether you're adaptive or not. So for me, it's just normal. It's just like my life, and yeah, it took some time, but you know now
Well,
it's
and
just.
you mentioned, I don't know if I can't remember if you said that a physical therapist, but someone that talked about your prosthetic.
Mhm.
Well, so kind of two questions along those lines. One is, do you have people who specialize, who are kind of guide you through maybe physical therapy, for lack of a better term, or certain movements that you can do to kind of do what, maybe not do what that other arm would do, but you know, to help? Do you seek specialized care, or the people that focus on that kind of thing?
Actually, since my accident, I've never had any occupational or physical therapy. I've never actually had any of that, which I know you're supposed to, but like I think just like a ball was dropped at some point, with like my medical care and just all of that. So um, yeah, I do have a prosthetist and I have a prosthetic that I don't really use too often. But as far as everything else, I've really just learned in the gym or YouTube videos or just myself. Like I don't
Hmm.
know.
I think you're just revealing. I think it's all of us in CrossFit go. It goes without saying. I was the same way after a knee surgery, after an Achilles heel surgery. We all just use CrossFit as our physical therapy, and I mean, just shout out to all the physical therapists out there. We know you're important, but a lot of times we find that as we're just moving our body in smart ways, and say, like you said, safe ways. I'm glad that you said that. That and your strength, you're constantly getting stronger. Then you're gonna by default kind of fix some of those areas. So that's good to hear. And yeah, well, and you mentioned a prosthetic. Like it, don't like it. I don't think I've ever seen you have it, but
No.
not a fan.
It's I mean it's heavy and it's awkward, and I'm open to trying it out, but I mean when you're busy, and I know it's like kind of excuse, but when you're busy, that like it's hard to like have to relearn like this new piece of technology, and then if it has issues, and that's not all to steer anybody away from to trying one out or to getting a prosthetic, but just like for me and my life, it just I haven't found the time or the want as of recently to really like dive into that more, but not that I would be opposed to it. It's just a part of my life right now.
Yeah. What sort of along those lines, or talking about prosthesis or whatever, I know you sometimes can use like something additional, like a strap, let's say for deadlift, but then sometimes you don't. And how do you, I don't know really how do you feel about maybe like the programming or things like that? I mean, WheelWod like specializes in that. That's what they do. Um, do you feel like it's pretty accurate? Like it really captures, what you can and can't do. I don't know if there's
Like,
something in there.
do you mean like when I use like a deadlift strap, like how it feels now versus like maybe when I had two arms and I deadlifted?
Yeah, or if the programming, let's say WheelWod says, okay, so for your division, you may use a strap, but then I noticed they programmed rope climbs,
Mm-hmm.
and or somebody programmed rope climbs. I guess what I'm saying is that one arm extremity division, does it seem to kind of get it right of what you're able to do and not able to do?
Yeah, I think so. I think that WheelWod has a whole team of people who are they're constantly working with and getting feedback from. Like Victor, if anybody had watched the upper 1 point, he's the animal in lane 10, and he was doing rope climbs, and I know that he has like worked with them before, and they've had people like Logan Aldridge, who's now a Peloton instructor. Like they have people that they will kind of converse with possibly or look to, and just kind of gain information. I mean, I'm assuming I don't I actually have like for sure knowledge, but I would assume that like a lot of people they like the heads of WheelWod, wheelchair users, people who really and neuromuscular, like so I think that they all are pretty knowledgeable, and really take their time if they're not to or if they don't know exactly what, they really take their time to look to other people who are knowledgeable or look to other people who
Okay, I'll be on a
have that
second.
specific disability. So
Yeah, I thought it was so nicely programmed, and it's a total specialty. Just what you just
yeah.
said. Each division really is specialty,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
yeah. So then I'm assuming then you're happy that the WheelWod is now the CrossFit Games
Yes.
for the adaptive division. You feel like that is a a good decision, a good move on CrossFit's part?
Yeah, I think I mean I don't really have a whole lot of knowledge one way or the other, but I do think that um having the humility to be able to give something that they kind of fostered and be able to like have the humility to be able to kind of pass that on to somebody else and say, hey, like we started this, or we have this, well, I mean WheelWod really, it was what started the adaptive division, but like here we brought this to the games, but we know that you have more knowledge on this topic, and we would like you to kind of keep fostering that. I think that's like a huge that's like I said, very humble on CrossFit's part. And also just if we're going to grow the division, you want the people who are going to be very knowledgeable in that subject. Just like here at the pit with the teenagers and stuff, I know you guys have diligently been working, and like really just understanding the teens and what they want and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that I think it was a good decision, and I'm happy. So
Yeah, I love that perspective because we obviously, since then the news went out a couple months ago, we've heard different things from different people. Most people are happy about it, but I love that exact perspective, and I shared the same thing. I said it's like if your doctor referred you to a specialist, you wouldn't feel offended by that. You'd be really grateful that the doctor said, of course I'm still your doctor, but I'm going to send you to the person who does that all the time. So it kind of makes sense. And that's really, how was it? I know you've competed before, but how was it on competition? Because I feel like you had like 4 pretty grueling days of
yeah,
competing.
we did.
Yeah, what's that look like for you as an athlete, as far as rest, recovery, nutrition? How do you go into it? Get your mindset in the right place. How was the vibe with your fellow competitors? How was the competition?
I think that I was so happy to come this year. I was like almost like it's like dang, I really wish I went last year too, because it was such a wonderful experience. Just like everybody there was so like eager to help you. Actually, the second workout, the second workout of the first day was like snatches, And I ripped, and I think rowing too, or I don't remember, but I ripped my hand on the first day of the second workout. So I was like, dang. And I like went over, and like these people I didn't even know, just like fellow competitors in the athlete area, were like, oh my gosh, you ripped your hand. And like, they were like running to go get stuff from their bags and like trying to like help me tape it up and give me ideas. So it's just like really, just like, that's like a perfect example, like just everybody there. And like, there's so many times where like competitors would finish their workout and they would turn around and they would keep, cheering on the other athletes who were continuing the workout or still hadn't finished yet. And so all in all, like just everybody there was so kind, so helpful. A normal day for me, like it wasn't too early actually. Like, I think the earliest I had to get up was 6:30, so I was really appreciative of that. But yeah, I ate as much as I could. We actually had some really good food there, some good lunches that we could buy through there. So I bought some of those and just ate whenever I could and stayed hydrated. They had a wonderful recovery tent with like professional massage therapists, and I was able to get cupped and massaged and get in a nice bath and use some like compression boots. And just like anytime I wasn't competing, I was just like, okay, like time to eat, time to do some recovery. But I also think like I don't want to say this for sure, but I think I'm the youngest competitor possibly. I don't want to like say that as like a fact, but from who I've met, but I think that also helps me being young. So
Yeah, I think you just read my mind, because that's where I was going to go next, was kind of just to talk about the fact that I'm pretty sure you are the youngest. Are there many other teens or teens or young adults that you've communicated with that are adaptive athletes?
As far as like, I mean, I'm 19, so I really only have like 6 months left being a teenager, but no, I have not met anybody. I mean, I think mid-20s, but like if there is anybody under 25 and is an adaptive athlete, please reach out to me. I'd love to be friends with you. But yeah, and which is great for me because like just the experience that they have in life and in training, like I'm able to absorb and learn so much from everybody there. So yeah, I
Yeah, no, I was gonna kind of talk about that a little bit. The fact that you are young. I mean, you're young, and yet I actually texted your mom. I was like, "Is Emily 20 yet, or is she still 19?" She said, "I think it's late spring, right? That you'll
yeah.
turn 20." Yep.
Yeah.
So for anyone who Emily was in the same grade as my son Ezra, so he's a little bit older than you, but he just turned 20 as well. So I keep track of all you guys, but you're how would you, I'd like you to speak to this, since this is Prodigies podcast and our goal here is to talk about youth, health and fitness. Talk a little bit about how CrossFit, what's CrossFit done for you? I mean, as a youngster. So like, uh, you know, people always talk about how rough the teenage years are, and they can be, but they don't have to be. But regardless of that, they are full of growth and development and a lot of ups and downs emotionally and hormonally and things like that. How has CrossFit really sort of, I don't know, what effect has it had on you as you've navigated those teen years? Because like you said, you were not even driving yet when you started. What's it been like for you the past few years in CrossFit?
Well, I think first and foremost, we talk about the community, and I think that's like still huge. I know a lot of CrossFit gyms, unfortunately, don't have a huge teen space, but fortunate for me, it does, including both your kids, Ellie and Azariah, and well, and Elijah too now, and Blake, and Allie, Brock's kids, and Brady, like to be able to come to the gym after school with all of them, and just like riding in the car with me, Blake, Andrea, and Allie and Brady, and we're all driving to the pit after school. Like, it really gave you a group of friends that you could like really connect with, because I mean, I think all out through life, like we want to surround ourselves with people who have the same goals and ideologies and values as we do. And just coming to a CrossFit gym, a lot of people kind of just naturally have those same like things in line with you. And so I think that was huge, to be able to be in a space where other people are either pouring into you if they're, you know, older than you, or they're just like being your friends, is really help you as a person. And then just like the things that come with being physically challenged every single day just really grows you to not only like combat stress, to help with anxiety, to help with depression, to um, really just like learn things about yourself, how to push through when things were tough. And I think that's like a very like common theme in all like activities. So like a lot of people talk about like endurance athletes and like how that's a big theme, and CrossFit is very endurance based. So yeah, I think just overall, I think that for me though, community is the most important. I think that's the thing that shaped me the most. But it really was like my safe haven, and still is, throughout my life thus far since starting CrossFit. So yeah.
That is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, because that's really, I mean, you know Brock and me pretty well, and that's really our mission. That's our whole mission, is to somehow, you know, just give kids a great place to develop and grow and play and have, you
Yes.
know, and fail and get back up and all the things. And like you said, I like how you noted that, you know, a safe place to do that, where people have your back. Well, let's kind of wrap up by talking about what you kind of see your future looking like, both in CrossFit and in life. You started out by saying, "Hey, look, I'm more than just an athlete. I have all these other things." So, what all of you, where are you headed in life? And then I think everyone does want to know though, where are you headed in CrossFit? Because, girl, I mean, I really think you'd be at the games for sure. I mean, you've kind of proven yourself as that caliber of an athlete. But how are you feeling about that? What's next?
Well, I'm gonna still keep working hard. So, as far as first, like as far as being a student, I'm like at KBCC right now, community college, and I'm working on my biology degree. And so that's I either want to be a high school biology teacher or a genetic counselor. I mean, things are still subject to change, but that's what I'm feeling right now. And then super into camping. So I'm hoping that this year I can get on like a pretty serious backpacking trip with actually somebody from the gym here. But then yeah, like CrossFit, I really love it, and I'm very very excited about where it's going. And I still don't know everything. I don't know exactly what everything entails, but I am like ready for the ride, and I would love to see myself at the games. And I am pretty confident that I'm going to put in the work and I will be at the games. But yeah, just like all the kinks and like the minor details I'm thinking about. And I don't know. I'm excited to see where my life takes me, but CrossFit is definitely still going to be a huge part of that. I think this weekend at WheelWod, and just like the joy that I feel when I'm competing and stuff like that, and just being with like other people, and just working hard, and the teamwork that comes with it, even when you are competing against them. I think that really kind of like showed me like this is where I'm supposed to be right now. And so I'm definitely, it's not necessarily maybe going to be a back burner anymore, but back burner subject, I mean, anymore. But yeah, I'm super excited for my future in CrossFit.
As am I, and I know the rest of your fellows at the pit are too. So, and if we haven't already said it, Emily, just a huge congratulations to you. You've really, I mean, obviously your performance this past weekend was amazing, but just over the past 2 years, just continuing to show up, continuing to push through whatever you have to push through, like the rest of us, and continue to be part of the community. Is it still part of Brock's programming that you work out with the community at least once a week, or you do like the community workout?
Yeah, I would. I usually go to the 5 p.m. class. So right now the 5 p.m. class is going on. But yeah, like because he programs all the class workouts as well. So
Yeah, I always love that about his programming, that it wasn't just elite athletes kind of off in a corner doing their own thing, that he literally put in there very deliberately, you know, you must, I want to say once he said, work out with someone you haven't worked out with before. She's a partner that you haven't chosen. So really ingraining all of the community together. So, well, Emily, I want to thank you for your time today. It's been really a pleasure talking to you, and I know we'll keep following back up. Any final words? If you, and I think I ask every guest this, particularly the young people, what advice would you give maybe a young athlete, now from sitting where you're perched now to get to that 14-year-old that's just coming into competitive CrossFit, we'll say, and what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, CrossFit, I think that is really important to be a kid. Go to those football games, eat the pizza, go to the school dances, make a bunch of friends. For me, it just worked out that my friends were at the gym, and so I was at the gym all the time. But like that, just personally for me, I think it's that who you are as a person and the relationships that you create and the way you make people feel is so much more important than any medal I'm going to win or any title that I could possibly obtain. So just to keep that in mind, and that, like, do CrossFit because you love it. Don't do it because you feel anxious or because you feel like it's something you have to do. And that, I mean, I think that goes for anything. If it's something that you're passionate about, you'll get there. So yeah, I don't know, just like if you're passionate about it, do it. But yeah, you'll get there.
Perfect. I'm sure you've been told this a time or two. I know you're a firstborn and you're a little bit wise beyond your years, but I really appreciate that. That's perfect advice. And I think on those notes, we'll just call it an afternoon. And I know I'm going to go out and hang out with the athletes here, and I'm sure you're getting after it in whatever way you are. And we'll have you back again, Emily, because I know we'll be seeing more of you. So thank you so much for being with us.
I've been coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Drop the top.